Mishlei. Mishlei, we are in Perek Aleph, right? Perek Aleph, Pasuk Tet. We saw in Pasuk Chet, Shma beni musar avicha v'al titosh Torah imecha. The disciplines, we said that, you have to understand, to internalize the disciplines that you learn from your father and the teachings of your mom. Right? So the Meiri says a very profound thing. Meiri says, when Shlomo Melech says, Musar avicha, the discipline of your father, and right, Torah timecha, teachings of your mom, Meiri says, you're so thoughtful. Thank you. Dr. Shili is going to join us, I think. Every Monday night, Giora. It's not a one-time pass. Okay?
Tuesday night.
Monday night. Nights, Mondays and Wednesdays.
Oh, okay.
Mondays is English, Mishlei, and Wednesdays Parashat Musar. So he says, listen to this. It's your father's, your mother's, your side, right? So Meiri says, Ha'av madricho b'chokhma ve'limud. V'ha'em b'hanhaga midot. Meiri says the father gives the children information, chokhmah and limud. But he says the ha'em, the mother, we get from our mothers b'hanhaga midot, our characteristics and the way we interact with other people. Meiri says it comes from the mother. Are you in agreement, disagreement? Meiri says, Ha'av madricho b'chokhmah ve'limud, v'ha'em b'hanhaga u'midot. He says the midot, the characteristics, and basically, right, how we interact with other human beings, this is something that we inherit from our mothers. No.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yes.
Okay. Fine, but you see, a lot of Mefarshim say it's interchangeable. Like you say, you see, you have to realize, the Zohar Kadosh says that, you see, as long as there is shalom bayit between the parents, he says the roles are interchangeable. Meiri says that, he says, the Shara Gilgulim from the Zohar Kadosh, Arizal says, this is Meiri is what I said here. But they say, for to have Shalom Bayit, you need one Zachar and one Nekeva, one female soul and one male soul. Sometimes he says, the father has the female soul and the mother has a male soul. But it's always, you need the combination. You cannot, he says, if both father and mother, they have the male soul, it's going to be Jahannam. They're not going to Shalom Bayit. And also, if both of them are like in the female soul, it's not going to go. You need one male soul and one female. But he says, not necessarily. So therefore, what Meiri says, it's really, it could be interchangeable. Like sometimes, the father could give the midot, and the mother would give the chokhmah, the information and the knowledge. But usually it's the mother, because the mothers have, more emotions than fathers. See, the role of a mother in shaping a person's personality, it's much more decisive than the role of the father. No questions. I see it with my own kids. My son that just got engaged. I was just talking to my mother, to his mother, to my wife. I just asked him one question. He was going out, etc. I said, is she going to help you in your Avodat Hashem? Is she going to be parv, or she's going to bring you down? He said, without hesitation, she's going to help you. I said, go for it. Right? But with all the talking, it's you see, there is a reason. I think we spoke about this, right? Chava. Why was she called Chava? One pshat is because she's Em Kol Chai. She gives birth to, she duplicates Hashem. She brings life to the world. That's one pshat why Chava was called Chava. But Harav Sforno says, I think it's Harav Sforno, Balaturim maybe. It says Chava is milashon yechaveh da'at, to talk. It says she is called, right? Chava was called Chava because ladies talk a lot. This is yechaveh da'at means lechavot is to talk. And what is Balaturim saying? This is a bracha. This is we men that can usually make fun of ladies. Oh, talk. Right? I mean, the Gemara says, Asara kabin shel sicha yardu la'olam. 10 cubits of whatever units, tons, whatever it's called, of talk came to the world. How many of them got the men? How many of the women? 90% of the words, the ladies, right? 10% is men. That's what the Gemara says. Asara kabin shel yofi yardu la'olam, right? Asara. Now, you see, the thing is, amongst men, they want to make fun of ladies. Oh, Tisha Kabin. When you see ladies are talking, Tisha Kabin. But the truth is, in the Gemara, it comes, the context is very positive. Because the same Gemara talks about beauty. And it says, Asara kabin shel yofi yardu la'olam. 10 measurements of beauty came to the world. Yerushalayim got 9 of them. Is this positive or negative? Obviously. Tomorrow is the elections in Israel. Yeah? So that Yerushalayim should stay united. But Yerushalayim, it's a most beautiful city. So you see, this it's brought in a positive sense. When it says, first it says, Asara kabin shel yofi, of beauty, Yerushalayim got 9. And then when it comes to ladies, it says, Asara kabin shel sicha yardu la'olam, of talk, of speech, ladies got 90%. So it's in a positive connotation, because really you need a mother that has the patience to talk. You see, talking, I mean, provided they don't chas v'chalila abuse it for lashon hara and any kind of negative speech. But you see, talking is really the expression of the neshama. Talking is the neshama. When the Torah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu blew the neshama in Adam, vayipach, right? This is Hashem blew neshama, the soul, in Adam HaRishon. Unclus translates ruach memalela. Ruach memalela means the power of speech. We have to know that more than any other organ in our body, the neshama is concentrated in our mouth. Because the power of speech, it's the most amazing. That's what the Mekubalim say. There are 4 levels in creation. There is domem. Domem means chimiya and jomedat, inanimate, right? Domem. Then you have tzomeach. Tzomeach is plants. Then you have chai bilti medaber. You have the living creatures that do not talk. And then you have chai medaber, human beings. That's what power of speech. That distinguishes us from other creatures.
What was the first one?
What?
What was the first one? Domem.
See, they call it datscham. Datscham means domem. Domem means inanimate. Like, rocks, all the inanimate objects. Domem lashon demama.
They have no living, no life.
Right. Then you have tzomeach. Tzomeach is plants, some life. Then you have animals. It's chai bilti medaber. And human beings are chai medaber. What defines us, that we are able to talk.
But you said there was 5. That's 4.
No. I said 4.
No,
This is
5
5.
elements. This is 4 levels.
This is 4 levels in creation. Domem. I mean, there is an Israeli joke about it also. You see, some Israelis, they open a few buttons here, and there is a chai necklace here. So somebody once told me, this is an Israeli. You see, there is domem. There is no brain. Then you have tzomeach, all the hair. There's a chai. So you have all the datzcham, right? But here you have four. Now, what really distinguishes us from it's a power of speech. The neshama is concentrated in the mouth. You see, it's such the ability to speak. It's such a miraculous. Just think about it, right? You think you want to talk right away in your brain. You decide which words very fast, which word you want to say to express yourself, and as soon as you make that decision, right, the brain gives billions of commands to nerves and muscles, etc., etc. Like to utter like one letter, it's so complicated. The movements and the breathing and it's we just take it for granted, but it's really the neshama is concentrated in the ability to speak, and the ladies have 9 out of 10. Tish'a kabin shel sicha yardu, 10 kabin shel sicha, and it's for a reason, because you see the neshama, and that's why people that date, talk. You see, when you talk to each other, when you communicate, this is how the neshamot, the souls, get to know each other, right? It doesn't matter what you. So that's Hashem has given that power to the mothers. And yes, they talk a lot. Through that, the neshama and they transfer it to the kids. So therefore, it could be it's interchangeable, because when you have sometimes, right? I know a lot of happy couples that I think the man has the female soul and the woman has the male soul, and it's beautiful shalom bayit. Just as long as you don't have a clash of 2 male and 2 female. So yes,
I understand that the rules are interchangeable, but can the souls actually be transformative? Like one time the male has the female soul, and other time he has the male soul, or that's just what you have is what you have forever?
you mean the reincarnation, coming back and stuff?
No, like, to put it in context, like sometimes the husband has the male soul, and sometimes he has the female soul. But
Right.
his soul, given the situation, his soul can transform between the two. Or it's just one soul you're given.
I don't think in the same time, you see, in reincarnation, when the souls come, I don't think it's interchangeable in the same cycle that they came to the world. If a person is born with a male soul, he's going to stay with that. And, by the way, you see, some Mekubalim say that, you have gay, etc., that this, that it has to do also with, the neshamot get messed up.
So
Right.
why is it that Paul said yes or no?
What?
Why is gay wrong with the Torah if it's really not his fault? If the neshama was mixed up.
No, you see, the
If
Torah...
the Torah's in there, you can't have to kill them.
No, you see, the Torah says, whenever you see capital punishment in the Torah, you have to realize it was never done.
Correct.
No, but
That's
you see, no,
fine,
the
but
Torah.
it doesn't mean-
No. This is very important discussion. You see, because we are going to come to gay relationship also. But first, you have to know if the Torah says, yes, you're right. It says skila, but it has so many prerequisites that it was impossible. The Gemara says, I think we discussed it. Like, if a Jewish court, Beit Din, would put one person to death once in 70 years, they would say, oh, they're murderers. Because it never happened. So now, when Torah gives you capital punishment, I just want to tell you to what extent this offense, whatever, is, Hashem looks at it very, very negatively. Right. Now, why does Hashem, Hashem is a loving God. Why does he care if if a person has, wants to have a gay relationship? He's a loving God, let him enjoy. Because you see, the gay relationship goes against the grain of the purpose of creation. Because the purpose of creation is olam chesed yibaneh.
But this guy is born sinner. According to this, the neshama was mixed up. He wasn't developed being gay.
Just a second. You see, people have tests, people have control. It doesn't mean that he's doomed to that kind of thing. The great majority could, from what I've researched some, the great majority could be involved in a normal relationship. But you see, this is not the question. The question is why it's so condemned, because that goes against the grain of the whole purpose of creation. The whole purpose of creation is chesed. And chesed happens when you have children. Chesed, when you have a child, you become Baal Chesed. Because by a kid, you're giving and giving and giving and giving. Gay relationship, it's selfish.
So they can adopt.
This is not going to go. This is something artificial. The kid, it's not going to. This goes against the whole grain and the whole purpose of creation. Otherwise, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem is a loving God. But you see, that explains. If it's something that's why Hashem, this is something like it's considered abomination in the eyes of Hashem, because I created the world for Chesed. And this is just, acting very selfish. You want to just have your own fun, and that's it.
So if the whole point is that it goes against the whole creation because it goes against the chesed, then any kind of prevention between husband and wife should be illegal. Or outlawed. Any kind of prevention.
Prevention?
It's the same thing. It's act of selfishness.
No, that's...
It goes against creation.
No. Prevention is allowed. Usually you're right. You get married to multiply. So the person needs... No, but you see, but you see, you need, right, to be able to raise healthy children. If like in the relationship between the parents, it's not the way it's supposed to be, then yes, Torah allows the woman to a man cannot, but a woman could prevent. If chas v'chalila, the health of the mother is at mental or physical health, it's at any danger. I mean, halachic posuk should be consulted. So then prevention is allowed. But other than that, you're right. Other than that, right? You're right. Prevention should be. It's not allowed because that goes. I mean, whoever I see single, I tell them, go get married, bring a child. You need, you have to have children. Because that's the first mitzvah of the Torah. The Zohar HaKadosh on and on talks about people, I was just talking to somebody downtown. So he said, I have a child. He was in a relationship with a non-Jewish. I told him, look, that kid's not yours. Because it goes according to the mother. If the mother is not Jewish, so he's not Jewish. You need to bring Jewish children to the world. Otherwise, that the Zohar HaKadosh goes on and on. Gilgul, his neshama is going to come back and come, This is the first mitzvah. First mitzvah of the Torah is Priya V'Rivya. You see, Rabbi Ben David goes to an extreme. He said, let him get back. He said, well, he's not sure. Even if they get divorced, they should. I mean, I would not go that far. Right? If you never had one bachar badbach b'konen, right? And he says it because of it's so important. This is the whole purpose of creation is olam chesed yibaneh.
In Hebrew,
what?
In Hebrew we have female neshama and male neshama.
The Zohar HaKadosh. What?
How do you say?
Nishmat zachar v'nishmat nekeva. The Shara Gilgulim says, right, if you have zachar and zachar, it's a problem. Nekeva and nekeva, it's also a problem. As long as you have one zachar and one nekeva, you're going to have shalom bayit. And we know that. I mean, if there's nothing wrong if she wears the pants in the family. There's nothing wrong with it. As long as his ego allows it.
That's what I'm talking about. Can't there be this transformation where, based on whatever the topic is, like, okay, the mother controls the house, right? The father might control the school, the studying. So there's just the same way that you say it's transformed based on and exchanged based on certain things. So sometimes, the mom's role is more nurturing and the father's disciplinary. Sometimes the father has to be more nurturing and the mother's
Yes. Yeah, but you see, I don't think you could change the roles in the middle of the course. It could be definitely a lot of sometimes really the fault, but he stays being the nurturing figure, and she is more like a discipline, or vice versa. But if your question is whether you could change the course, to reverse it, that I don't know.
See, I think the soul is actually never 100% masculine or feminine. I think every soul is 90%, 10%, and then maybe the people who are really different is like 50-50, But, so then at some point I may touch my 10% female soul to do something that's not really masculine, or she may touch her inner male soul and...
Yeah, that's a possibility. But you see, but there is the most of the genes, most of the parts of the neshama, etc. Yeah, I mean everybody has. You see, it's basically, we have a brain and we have a heart. It's very interesting. We're learning Mishlei. Mishlei starts with Mem, the letter Mem. Tehillim starts with no, Sefer Tehillim starts with Aleph. Ashrei. Okay? So they said this is the clash between, they said this is, David HaMelech wrote Tehillim, Shlomo HaMelech wrote Mishlei. David HaMelech apparently was more brain. That's why Aleph. Tehillim starts with Aleph. They say Shlomo HaMelech was also feelings. Mem, the letter Mem, it's like the middle of the alphabet, the same way the heart, it's the middle of the body. You see, by men, right, women are usually a female neshama, it's mostly feelings. Less intellect, right? By men, the biggest challenge is, right, somehow to connect the brain to the heart. Right? If you look at men that some men are all brain, some men are all heart. The Torah tells us for the man the right balance is, right, that you need to connect your brain to your heart. Maharsha says that's the reason why men wear tefillin. It's very interesting. Maharsha says by putting tefillin, it's these are the wires that you are wiring, you're connecting between the brain and the heart. Right? Because he says otherwise, a man that doesn't put tefillin, so he doesn't have that connection. You see, it needs to be the right mix of of feelings and brain. And if a person is all brain, these people cannot create proper balanced relationships, not with their spouse and not with their kids and bichlal, altogether, right? So this is one of the side benefits of putting tefillin every day. Maharsha says that's what the tefillin does. That connects between the brain and the heart, right? Simke Shemikonim, right? So let's go back. Ha'av madricho b'chokhma velimud. So Meiri says that usually the father would give the information, the intellect, so to speak. V'ha'em b'hanaga midot, and the mother gives the midot, the characteristics, and the hanaga, the way to learn how to interact with other human beings. And the pasuk of tonight tells us, "Ki leviyat chen hem lerashecha va'anakim legargerotecha." Shlomo HaMelech says, Leviat chenhem lerashecha. He says, this chokhmah and musar that you get from your parents, as we said, right? The continuation is that they become leviat chen leroshecha. They become some leviat chen. It's like some kind of ornament, like a kind of crown on your head. Va'anakim legargerotecha, and like a necklace around your neck. This is what Shlomo HaMelech says. What does it mean? Right? Malbim says, Rosh is machshava. He says you get from your parents, and it all has to do with parenting. Right? Shlomo HaMelech tells us that, the parents that we have, they have a decisive role more than any other thing in our lives in forming our personality. Right? He says, the parents, they give you leviat chen leroshecha for the brain, and right, and when he talks about the necklace, right, it's talking about, because it says gargarotecha, it's like your throat. This is where we talk, the power of speech. That's the musar, the way we talk to each other, the way we communicate. More than anything else, musar, learning Jewish ethics and refinement, right? This is what musar is. Musar is to refine a person. This is expressed in the way we talk to each other. That we said the neshama is concentrated in the power of speech. You see, Rambam says that the way Jewish households were always a source of envy for all other nations. I just had a wedding. Somebody told me that he saw a boy and a girl where they were sitting at their table, so he thought to introduce them to each other, like Biltmore. So he said, I went to the boy and I said, would you like me? She said, nice girl, would like you, I wanted to introduce. He says, no. She's not Jewish. I'm Christian, but I'm looking for a Jewish girl. So then he went to the girl. He says, no, I don't want a Christian. I'm looking for a Jewish boy. It's just, you see, and this is what happens on college campuses also. It's really, Jewish boys and girls are very popular in that sense, right? Why? Because Jews were known always to create beautiful homes. That's why Bil'am, when he came to curse Bnei Israel, he looked and he says, Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov. He said, how beautiful your households are. We're talking about the Jewish nations. He envied the Jewish family, the traditional, classic Jewish family. So Rambam says, what is the secret? Rambam says, what is the secret of Jewish homes that were always a source of envy by other nations? Rambam says, because it's a very, very simple recipe. A lot of times I say it under the chuppah. Rambam says the recipe is very simple. He says, the man has to love his wife like himself, not more, and to respect her more than himself. Ohava kegufo, right? He loves her like his own self, and he should respect her more than himself. Okay? Now, and then vice versa also. And he says, and the woman should also love her husband like herself. Umechabda, and he should respect her. Yoter midai, too much, like a king. Because men have more kavod, more gava, so that's what. So you see, what does it mean? Love, we could understand. Love, Jewish love comes from giving. That we know that. Ahava, which means love in Hebrew, the root of it is hav, to give. And Judaism believes that that true love comes after you get married, not before. Before you get married, you like each other. When you share your life with somebody, the more you give, the more you love. There's no question about it. This is clear in the Torah. You know that, right? You know that's the end of Parashat Chayei Sarah. The Torah tells us, right, that Yitzchak Avinu married Rivka, and then he says he loved her. That's in the Torah. It doesn't say Vayehav Yitzchak, right? גיורא, אתה מכיר את זה, לא? I enjoy talking to Giora in Hebrew. So you see, this is, somebody just on the East Coast told me that he remembers when I gave a lecture on this back east. So, he says, this was always a model of his life. You see, the Mefarshim say, it's right in the Torah. When the Torah, you see, the only marriage that the Torah talks about from A to Z, it's the marriage between Yitzchak and Rivka.
Yeah, well, it could be because of the age difference too.
What?
That he got married and then he loved her. Years later.
But no, I mean, why didn't he should maybe continue to?
There's a big difference in age.
That's one version. There's one version she was 3. There's another version she was 14. So what the age difference should not be a factor. What is it now? It's just I mean, you see nowadays Hollywood teaches you fall in love and then you get married and then you fall out of love, right? So but you see the Torah tells you this is you see what they describe. It's the famous the Katzke Rebbe, once he goes to a restaurant and he sees somebody is eating fried fish. He says, "Why do you eat fish?" He says, "I love fish." He says, "You love fish? If you loved fish, you would take the fish home, put it in an aquarium and take care of it. You love the taste of fish in your mouth. You don't love fish, otherwise you won't fry it and eat it, right?" So this is the love that they talk about in Hollywood, right? This is the emet. This they don't they just it's lost. It's not love. True love, the Torah tells us, comes. I mean, obviously you like each other, and that's why you get married. But true love, it's right in the Torah. It's not mefarshim, and it's just right. It's the words of Torah Kedusha, right? It says. If you want the exact address, it's in Bereshit, Kaf Daled, right, Pasuk Tetzayin. It says, right, so it says, Vayevieha Yitzchak ha'ohel Sarah imo, Vayikach et Rivka. Vayikach et Rivka means he married her, Vatehi lo leisha, she became his wife, Vaye'ehaveha, and then he loved her. So you're saying that it was age, what was,
Slowly you got to love it.
That's right. Why? Because love comes from giving. Ahava, hav means to give. Right? When you go through life with somebody, ups and downs, you share life together, and you really, as your purpose is really to be a giver and not a taker. That's how love is created. What was it? This fiddler on the roof. Do you love me? Do you love me? Obviously, I remember it was. So love it comes from giving, and if a person, so this is where ahava comes from giving. So now, what were we saying? You're saying ki leviat chen hem lerashecha va'anakim legargarotecha. So this is all the parents. The parents, so we were talking about the kochad, the musar, right, comes the way we talk to each other. So that's what we're talking about kavod. What does it mean? What does it mean that you're supposed to respect your wife? What is respect? So respect, halachically, there is halacha about it. First of all, it means when it comes to spending money. God forbid if there are limited resources, she comes first. Jokingly, I always say, like, if you have a Corolla and Rolls Royce, or if you have a Fiat or a Rolls Royce, she gets the Rolls Royce and you get the Fiat, right? And
I think they should sell both and get something in the middle.
No, but it's מכבדה יותר מגופו. מכבדה יותר מגופו, one is really when it comes to, like, personal expenses, her budget should be more than his. But the other thing, which is more important, kavod is the way they talk to each other. Kavod is how they talk to each other. Choice of words and how loud or, not raising voice on each other. This is what kavod is. And it's halakha, right? So he says musar, that's why he says gargerotecha, it says koach hadibur. Right, that this Torah and midot that you learn from your parents, it should translate, right? Why it says like, it's like a necklace around your neck. It means, the Mepharshim say, neck is where you have the neshama, the koach hadibur. How you, the power of speech, using it properly.
It's a necklace or a choche?
What's the other thing for necklace?
Choche? No, to prevent from to control.
No, this is to speak. I mean, a person should really think that Ramban says about every word before you, measure twice, cut once, right? Measure twice, cut once. It's בפרסי המילה, דו דפה, ידפה בבור, פרט שפרושה מילה. אדם בעד כלמות שם בעד אינג'רי באשר. Right? Fine. So, also, we have, Rav Hirsch says, התורה והמוסר שלמד מאביו ואמו הם הבסיס. Right? Rav Hirsch says, it's talking about the neck. He says the neck holds the head. So he says, the Torah, what you learn from your parents, is the neck, that the head that you're going to build is going to always be on this foundation. The foundation is the neck that you got. That's a mashal that is used here, right? It's the neck that makes all the movements possible, and that's where the head sits. So Rav Hirsch says that HaTorah v'hamusar shelamad ma'aviv ve'imo, that the Torah and ethics that he learned from his fathers, the midot, the good midot, they are the base for his the tzavar, the neck, that the head, that he continues to develop. It's sitting on that foundation. Also, it says, the Midrash says, Roshcha Rashyutcha. Right? The Midrash says education, mostly Torah education and the ethics, and the hashkafa and emunah that the person learns in his youth. This is his real wealth. Because Roshecha, the Midrash says, Rashyutcha, that God forbid, even if financially he's going to go down, becomes a Rash is a poor person, still that wealth, right, always is going to stay, the wealth that he has in his brain, that he has accumulated through learning Torah and ethics, etc., this, right, would help him in the ups and downs of life, and also when he gets older, right? Rush also is like, old age. Rabbi Pinchas ben Chama says on this pasuk, it says, when it says ki leviat chenhem leroshecha va'anakim legargerotecha, he says Torah and mitzvot accompany you in all the facets of life. A person, the mitzvot are really HaKadosh Baruch Hu ratzah lezakot. Hashem wanted to give us the merit. Hashem has spread out the mitzvot in all facets of life. In every concept, whatever we are doing mitzvot. You go to work, honesty, integrity, how you deal with other people, right? This is all mitzvot. You are in a shalom bayit, it's all mitzvot. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ratzah Hashem, because He loves us, Hashem has, right, it's our life is, when it says leviat chen, lelavot means to accompany. That the mitzvot, really, there is not one second in life that we don't have a mitzvah. Constantly we have mitzvot. Right? The Gemara says, David HaMelech was once taking a shower and he said, I don't have any mitzvot now. And then you realize he has the Brit Milah. Right? That you are constantly accompanied by mitzvot. Last night, we had this gentleman here that was talking about his after, he described how, he did an overdose in some kind of party in Manhattan, and his girlfriend was taking him in one of these yellow cabs, was going around, and he described how exactly his soul was hovering above the cab. It was very fascinating. So he said, then he was describing how his neshama was drawn up. Right? And he said, I was standing there naked. I was naked, I didn't have any mitzvot. And even when he brought the Zohar HaKadosh says that, that every mitzvah that we do connects us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? The Lashon mitzvah is tzavta, togetherness. The mitzvot, Kabbalistically, connect us to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's why the worst punishment is karet. It's like, you see, every mitzvah, it's like like there's a rope, that you have the little strings there that you need to make the rope. Every mitzvah, it adds another connection, so to speak. So the worst punishment in the Torah is karet. Karet is like to be cut off. So he was saying exactly what the Zohar HaKadosh says. He said, if a person didn't have any mitzvah, didn't have any no good deeds, right? Mitzvot that are interaction with other people wasn't proper, right? And also with Hashem wasn't. So he's going to be standing there naked. He says exactly how I felt, right? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu has, because He loves us, Hashem has spread out the mitzvot in all facets of life. In all facets of life. Right? A person, in the house, plenty of mitzvot. He comes out, the workplace, constantly. Honesty, integrity, for men, shmirat einayim, it's so, I was on the plane last week, this time I was on the plane with the red eye. So you see, I said in shul, whenever I make a ticket, I daven that I should be seated in a. You see, it's very difficult. You're sitting on a plane. It's such a close proximity, right? So I daven that next to me should be a man, something. Once I was flying, and I saw a black individual next to me. It was like sleeping and stuff. The whole night I was sure that it's a lady, and I'm so careful. I'm big, not to touch, not to look. Shmirat einayim. In the morning I said, "Why you're not?" Go down here. The whole night I was, So this time I was lucky. Next to me there was a guy with the kippah, tzitziot out. Started talking to him, and where are you from? From Hong Kong. It was very interesting. So he's really American parents, born in Israel, and in a religious family, and he had left everything. He told me. He was saying, you Sfaradim are different. That's what he was telling me. Like by Ashkenazim, it's fake. I said, it's not true. Be careful. My wife is ex-Ashkenazia. I was defending the Ashkenazim, but he was saying the Sfaradim are different. He was saying the Sfaradim really, they have a relationship with Hashem. But he said he went off all the way. Now he lives in Hong Kong. But he says I saw it's empty there. How much could you go with girls and this and that? I didn't have content in life. Then he says I created my relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I reconnected, and appreciating the mitzvot, etc. How the mitzvot. It was a very interesting encounter. So that's what Shlomo HaMelech says. That when it says Leviat Chen, milashon lelavot, to accompany. That because Hashem has given us the mitzvot accompany us in every facet, every moment of our lives. And so now, these, let's just wrap it up. These, a crown and the necklace, it's for other people to see. Maybe, if you have if you have a ring, you see it. But usually, when you have something, a necklace, or it's for other people. So Shlomo HaMelech is saying that really our Torah and mitzvot, the midot that we have, it's not for us. It's for other people. It's how we interact with other people. Right? This is what matters. That's why Shlomo HaMelech is using these exact, these decorations. Kasher, and also, let's conclude with this, that, you see, very interesting, one of the Mepharshim says that, no matter how heavy a necklace would be, it's very easy, ladies would carry it, you don't feel the heaviness. The heavier the better, no? I don't think there would be a lady that would not want to have a necklace because it's too heavy. So the same way Shlomo HaMelech says, if a person really understands, right, the reason for the mitzvot, so then doing the mitzvot is not going to be heavy for him. See, people that, they say why the luchot, the tablets, how did they break? Right? The tablets were very heavy. Naturally, they were very heavy stones. But as long as the writing was inscribed on it, Moshe Rabbeinu was able to carry it. When Moshe Rabbeinu came down from the mountain and he saw that the Jews are involved in Chetza, in the golden calf, so then the Midrash says the letters flew away from the tablets, and then they became unbearable, and they fell from his hands and they broke. What is the Midrash saying? If a person doesn't understand really the inner, the depth, the reason for the mitzvot, it's going to be very difficult to carry them. When a person studies and understands what is the depth of the mitzvot, what it does to us, right, in all areas, then it's not going to be heavy. It's going to be very easily doable and bearable. That's why Shlomo HaMelech says what? He says, Anakim Kegarbi. He says the Torah and mitzvot would be like a necklace. A necklace, no matter how heavy it is, the way you carry it around your neck, you don't feel. It feels very, very light and beautiful. The same thing it's with the Torah life, with all the mitzvot. Okay, Be'ezrat Hashem, see you next week.